なんだ。
俺は人類の役に立てたでしょうか。このまま何の役にも立てずに死ぬのでしょうか。
お前は十分に活躍した。そしてこれからもだ。お前の残した意志が俺に力を与える。約束しよう。俺は必ず巨人を絶滅させる。
兵長、彼はもう。
最後まで聞いたのか、こいつは。
ええ、きっと聞こえてましたよ。だって安心したように眠っている。
ならいい。
From start to finish, tears and blood flow like water in Attack on Titan. Every day is an agonizing struggle. Every moment this crawl towards the faintest, tiniest glimmer, indicating that some answers will maybe reveal themselves, that perhaps there is the most remote chance in the world that this conflict will cease. Death and torment are everywhere in this world, and because of this, it's incredibly easy to become desensitized due to the constant urge to keep moving forward. One must be strong to survive in this setting, and some, many in fact, likely believe that it is a requirement to become desensitized in order to be strong. How else would one be able to endure? And yet, that isn't true at all, because the man that is recognized as one of, if not the strongest character in the story is not desensitized at all. In fact, the truth is quite the opposite. He feels, he remembers and holds things close to his heart, and at any cost, he doesn't allow himself to let tragedy become mundane. This all seems like enough to rip someone apart from the inside out, and not only is he able to withstand it all, he uses it to empower and steel himself as he strives towards a world that he can just about see the shape of through the muck. But that burden is so heavy.
お二人には人間らしい気持ちというものがないのですか。
おいリータ、言葉が過ぎるぞ。
Introduction to conclusion, through thick and thin, there is no one in Attack on Titan who cares as much for the sacrifices made for the cause as Levi Ackerman, the germaphobe who cannot let himself forget the souls of those who serve to carry the torch forward. The man who despises dirt and blood and yet ingrains the blood of fallen comrades, even those he does not know intimately, into his heart, to carve his life's work and purpose into his soul and not allow himself to forget for 1 second the weight of what he represents and fights for. Levi has been representative of the Old Guard from the times when the Old Guard was the dominant force to when he was the only one left, and not for a single moment did he stop being the ultimate bridge between generations, the last bastion representing with integrity, honesty, and power what the origin of the Survey Corps was founded on. He is the true essence and personification of the spirit of the Scouts, working towards a better world, sacrificing oneself for a peaceful future, with freedom, knowledge, and progression always in the forefront of the mind. Levi Ackerman is not only deeply impressive in and of himself, but he is the true bearer of Erwin's torch. Having been his beast, having known the man intimately, and having understood him like no other, bringing a groundedness to the symbol he represented. Levi is the unfiltered truth of Erwin's legacy, not the misrepresentative, misinterpreted, and bastardized version that Flock embodies. And to that end, for reasons that are just as or even more selfish than selfless, reasons dedicated to a wish he needed to grant to his departed commander, he kills Zeke. And it is a kill that brings forth nothing. No satisfaction, no gratification, and in fact, the latter actually found himself able to die with something close to a smile on his face. But regardless of all of that, this just had to happen. Levi made a promise, and he knew from the start that there was no guarantee that carrying it out was going to be fulfilling. I'm sure he accepted that outcome, and knew that it was the likely possibility. He's never had any illusions about this world being fulfilling in any way after all, but he made a promise to his dear partner, and so he had to do it. Knowing his resolve and conviction, there was never going to be any other result, and he carries that dedication to the departed and their wishes and dreams in everything he does, never forgetting the weight of those sacrifices. From the no-name grunts to those he looked at as closer than family, Levi never allows himself to habituate to this tragedy, and forgetting the sheer weight of it would be undercutting the sentiment these people symbolized. If you forget this, if you lose track of this emotionality and heart and sentiment, and if you are unable to act in a way loyal to those who put their lives and faith in you, then your cause is lost.
だがリヴァイ、見えるか、俺たちの仲間が。仲間たちは俺らを見ている。捧げた心臓がどうなったか知りたいんだ。まだ戦いは終わってないからな。
ねえ、リヴァイ、みんな見てるかな。今の私たちを死んだ仲間に誇れるかな。
やつみてえなこと言ってんじゃねえよ。
Multiple times throughout the series, Levi has had the characters closest to him wonder aloud if those who left their dreams to them are watching on in make-or-break, world-shatteringly crucial moments. And he has never properly responded to this, perhaps because he's just always played his cards close to the vest, and perhaps because outside of the times in which he is offering some sort of comfort to those departing, he has always been one to keep his emotions internalized. But I think that if you just take even a quick glance at the way he lived his life, he absolutely thought that they'd be watching. And he absolutely, in every moment, felt like he needed to do them proud. He has ever been one to speak with his actions rather than words the vast majority of the time, rarely vocalizing but always feeling and knowing. He dedicated his heart with his actions and the way he lived his life, but with the last of his generation seeming to be ready to leave him properly alone, he finally does acknowledge it with words. And with Hanji gone, Levi is finally all alone from his generation, as it feels he was always destined to be. The last remnant of a flame that would seem to be dying, but one that he turned into a torch. And with the world in the balance, humanity on a knife's edge, faced with impossible choices, he can only hold strong to his own ideal, which he believes ties directly with the Survey Corps. And of course, at times he doubts himself and wonders. He is human and he is vulnerable, in spite of what his greatest admirers may say about him. He internally stumbles, but he knows who he is, and he understands the responsibility of what being a scout means. So he trusts in himself, his ideals, and that those before him thought the same. And in this complicated situation, he follows the heart he dedicated with those whom he guided.
心臓を捧げよ。
君が言ってんの初めて聞いたよ。
Levi has been left behind by so many throughout his life. His mother, Kenny, Furlon and Isabel, his squad, Kenny again. Numerous comrades, renowned or otherwise. Erwin, arguably the most important person in his life. More comrades. Sasha. Eren, after having dedicated and sacrificed so much for his sake. And Hanji. Finally, Levi is completely by himself. He has close friends and allies, so he's not alone in every sense of the word, but he is the last bastion of the old generation. He has fought tooth and nail, sacrificed everything, all while never forgetting the sentiment of what he stands for, and by the end he has somehow lived to tell the tale. And so, he deserves to tell it, while serving a well-deserved rest. Not a permanent rest like Erwin got, but one where he lives out the rest of his life in as much peace as this setting allows, ushering in the next generation, fully confident in and proud of their ideals, what they stand for, and who they are, in a world without titans. Levi lived a life where it must have been agonizing to try to feel the value of sacrifice, a life where he was left behind by so many. But at the end of it all, he was able to allow himself the tiniest smile alongside the most heartfelt salute, proud that he carried everyone's wills to the absolute end. Levi was the strongest, start to finish, not for his prowess in combat, but for his insane perseverance, mental fortitude, and will. And most of all, for his refusal to let himself stop feeling, and his understanding of the fact that as much as that may pain him, it is a strength and the core cause that they are fighting for in the first place. Many thanks for watching.
よう、お前ら、見ていてくれたか。これが結末らしい。お前らが捧げた心臓。